My beloved soul, stop everything you are doing right now, because this is not a normal message. This is not something you were meant to casually scroll past. There is a reason your eyes are here at this exact moment, and I need you to understand this with complete clarity. This is an emergency. You are already very late. Not late in the way the world defines it, not about deadlines or missed appointments, but spiritually late. Something has been trying to reach you again and again, whispering in moments of silence, nudging you through signs you couldn't fully explain, stirring something deep within your spirit that you kept pushing aside. And now, that whisper has become a call, and that call has become urgent. Archangel Michael has been standing at the edge of your awareness, watching, protecting, waiting, but also urging you to wake up, urging you to see what you have been avoiding. Because what is happening around you right now is not misalignment. It is not random. It is a divine interruption. There is something shifting in your life at this very moment. Something powerful. Something that has been building behind the scenes for longer than you realize. And the truth is, you were supposed to notice it sooner. But do not panic. Because even though you are late, you are not too late. Feel that difference. There is still a narrow window open for you. A moment that has not yet passed. But it is closing faster than you think. And that is why this message found you now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but right now, in this exact second. You may have felt it recently, that strange heaviness in your chest, that quiet anxiety that doesn't seem to have a clear reason, that sense that something is off but you couldn't put it into words. That wasn't your imagination. That was your spirit trying to alert you. Something in your life is out of alignment. And if you continue ignoring it, the consequences will not stay hidden for long. But here is where it changes. Because the moment you chose to listen, right now, you shifted something. You stepped into awareness. And awareness is the first key to everything that is about to unfold. Archangel Michael does not bring fear without purpose. He brings truth with protection. And right now, his presence is closer than ever, surrounding you, shielding you, but also calling you to act. This is your wake-up call. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Here is something you must see, something you must understand, and something you must do. And as this message continues, it will begin to reveal itself piece by piece in a way that will make everything suddenly make sense. Stay with this. Do not look away. Because what comes next may be the very thing that changes the direction of your life forever. Are you ready to hear why you were chosen for this moment? Listen closely, because what you are about to understand may change the way you see your entire life. You were not randomly led here. This moment was not misalignment, and it was not a coincidence hidden behind ordinary time. This was arranged, lined, and allowed for a reason far greater than what your eyes can currently see. Long before you pressed play, there was a stirring in the spiritual realm. A recognition of your journey, your struggles, your silent battles that no one else truly understood. Every tear you held back, every time you questioned your path, every moment you felt unseen or overlooked, it was all witnessed. Nothing about your life has gone unnoticed. You were chosen because you reached a point where ignoring the truth was no longer possible. Think back for a moment. There have been signs, haven't there? Subtle at first. A repeated message you kept encountering. A feeling that certain situations or people were no longer right for you. Maybe even a sudden shift in your energy, where things that once felt normal began to feel heavy, draining, or confusing. You may have brushed it off, telling yourself it was just stress or overthinking. But deep down, you knew something was changing. That was not coincidence. That was preparation. Archangel Michael has been guiding you through those moments, even when you didn't realize it, protecting you from paths that would have led to deeper confusion, redirecting you when you were about to make choices that did not align with your true purpose. You may not have seen his hand clearly, but his presence had been there, steady and unwavering. And yet, despite all of this guidance, there was resistance. Not because you are weak, but because stepping into truth requires courage. It requires letting go of what feels familiar, even when that familiarity is no longer serving you. And so, time passed. Opportunities paused. Certain doors remained closed, not as punishment but as protection. Now you stand at a point where everything is beginning to converge. The delays, the confusion, the waiting, they were not meaningless. They were shaping you, refining you, preparing you for a moment exactly like this. A moment where you would finally be ready to see clearly. You were chosen because your spirit is ready now. Not perfect, not without questions, but ready. Ready to hear what you once ignored. Ready to recognize what you once overlooked. Ready to step into a level of awareness that will not allow you to go back to who you were before this message. And this is where the urgency returns. Because being chosen does not mean you can wait indefinitely. It means the time has come. It means the window that was once distant is now directly in front of you. And what you do next will determine more than you realize. Here is a reason why certain things in your life have felt like they were falling apart recently. A reason why clarity hath been both close and just out of reach. It is because something hidden is beginning to surface. Something that, once revealed, will force a decision. And that decision cannot be delayed. Archangel Michael is not only protecting you, he is preparing to reveal something that will require your attention, your honesty, and your action. This is why you had to be brought here now, before distractions could pull you away again, before hesitation could take control. Take this moment seriously, because as you continue, the message will become sharper, clearer, and more direct. What hath been hidden will not remain hidden. What hath been unclear will begin to take shape. And what you are about to hear next is the warning you cannot afford to ignore. Pay attention now, because the tone of this message is shifting for a reason. What you are about to hear is not meant to comfort you at first. It is meant to wake you fully. Here is a warning surrounding your life right now, and it has been quietly building while you were distracted, uncertain, or waiting for the right time. The time is gone. You cannot delay what your spirit already knows. There is something in your environment, in your circle, or even within your own patterns that is no longer aligned with who you are becoming. And the danger is not loud or obvious. It is subtle. It hides behind familiarity. It disguises itself as something you have tolerated for too long. That is why it has been so difficult to identify. But Archangel Michael sees it clearly. And now, he is making sure that you see it too. This is the part where many people turn away. Not because they don't understand, but because they do. Deep down, there is already a knowing inside you. A quiet voice that hath been trying to speak, telling you that something is not right. You may have silenced it. You may have rationalized it. You may have even convinced yourself that it would resolve on its own. But it will not. If you continue to ignore this, you will grow stronger. The confusion will deepen. The delays will become heavier. And eventually, what could have been corrected now will turn into something much harder to change later. This is the warning. Not to scare you, but to protect you. Because once something is revealed, you are no longer responsible for what you didn't know. You are responsible for what you choose to do with the truth. There is a pattern that must be broken. It could be a connection that drains you, a situation that keeps repeating without resolution, a mindset that holds you back even when opportunities are placed in front of you. Whatever it is, it has been quietly stealing your time, your energy, and your clarity. And time, as you now understand, is the one thing you cannot afford to lose anymore. Archangel Michael is stepping forward in this moment as a protector, but also as a warrior of truth. He is cutting through illusion. He is removing the veil. And what is being exposed may not be comfortable, but it will be necessary. You may begin to notice things differently after this. Conversations that suddenly feel off. Behaviors that no longer make sense. Even your own reactions may start to shift as awareness increases. This is not misalignment. This is the unveiling. And here is what you must understand above all else. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. That is why this moment matters so much. Because you are standing at the edge of a decision. You can continue as you have been, pretending not to notice, hoping things will somehow change on their own. Or you can step forward with courage, acknowledge the truth, and begin to realign your life with what is meant for you. One path leads to deeper delay. The other leads to clarity, protection, and movement. But the choice is yours. Feel the urgency in this message. Not panic, but purpose. Not fear, but direction. You are not being pushed, you are being called. Called to wake up. Called to act. Called to stop postponing what your soul has already confirmed. If this message is reaching you deeply, it is because it is meant for you. There is no misalignment in this moment. There is only truth being revealed at the exact time you are finally ready to receive it. Type "I am ready for truth" in the comments if you feel this message aligning with your spirit. Blessing code 639 is now activated over your life, opening your path to clarity, protection, and divine alignment. And as this truth begins to settle into your heart, understand this: messages like this do not reach everyone. They reach those who are being prepared for something greater. When you support this mission, you are not just helping a channel. You are helping this light travel further, reaching souls who are still waiting in confusion, still searching for clarity, still hoping for a sign. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse. It is a living promise speaking directly to you right now. If you feel the pull in your spirit, this is your moment to act. You can send your support through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link provided in the description and QR code. This is not just giving. It is sowing into a divine assignment, planting seeds that will return to you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Say it within yourself: "I am part of this mission." And as you give, may doors open for you. May protection increase around you. May clarity rise within you like never before. Now stay with this message, because what is about to be revealed next will uncover the hidden battle you didn't even realize you were fighting. There is something you need to understand right now. Something that explains why things have felt heavier than they should, more complicated than they appear on the surface. What you are experiencing is not just physical, not just emotional. It is spiritual. There is a hidden battle unfolding around you, and for a long time, it has gone unnoticed because it does not operate in obvious ways. This battle is subtle. It moves through distractions, delays, confusion, and emotional weight. It shows up as exhaustion without clear cause, as opportunities that almost happened but somehow fall apart, as connections that once felt right but now leave you feeling drained. These are not random patterns. They are signs of interference. And this is exactly where Archangel Michael steps in, not just as a symbol, but as a protector and a warrior. His role is not passive. He does not stand at a distance. He engages, he shields, he cuts through what is false, and he stands between you and what seeks to weaken your path. But for his protection to fully work in your life, you must become aware of what is actually happening, because you cannot fight what you refuse to see. There had been resistance around your progress. Every time you moved closer to clarity, something pulled you back. Every time you felt ready to move forward, doubt crept in. At times, it may have felt like you were fighting yourself. But in truth, it was deeper than that. There are forces unseen, quiet but persistent, that thrive on keeping you uncertain, distracted, and delayed. Not because you are weak, but because you are valuable. Because there is something within you that, once activated, will change the direction of your life in a powerful way. And anything that powerful will always face resistance. Think about the moments when you felt the strongest sense of purpose, the clearest vision of what you were meant to do. What happened shortly after? Distraction, doubt, unexpected obstacles. It was as if something immediately stepped in to break your focus. That is not misalignment. That is the battle. But here is where everything begins to shift. Because now, you are no longer unaware. Now, you are seeing the pattern. And awareness changes everything. Archangel Michael is not only protecting you from what you cannot see, he is also revealing it to you so that you can stand stronger, think clearer, and act with intention instead of hesitation. This is why things are beginning to feel different. Why certain people no longer resonate the same way. Why situations that you once tolerated are now becoming impossible to ignore. The veil is lifting. The hidden is becoming visible. And with that visibility comes a choice. You can continue to engage with what drains you, pretending it will somehow change. Where you can step back, recognize it for what it is, and begin to detach from anything that no longer aligns with your growth. This is not about fear. It is about clarity. Because once you see the battle clearly, you stop blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong. You stop carrying unnecessary guilt. You stop questioning your worth. And instead, you begin to take your power back. Archangel Michael is guiding you toward that power right now. He is strengthening your awareness so you can recognize what is real and what is illusion. He is sharpening your discernment so you no longer fall into the same patterns. And most importantly, he is reminding you that you are not alone in this. The battle may be hidden, but the support surrounding you is even stronger. You are being guarded, even in moments when you feel uncertain. You are being redirected, even when paths seem blocked. What feels like delay is often protection. What feels like confusion is often the clearing before clarity arrives. But now, the time for passive waiting is ending. You are being called to participate in your own breakthrough, to stand with awareness, to observe more carefully, to trust what your spirit is revealing, even if it challenges what you are used to. Because something is about to become very clear. A sign, a realization, or a moment is approaching that will confirm everything you are beginning to sense right now. It will not be loud or dramatic, but it will be undeniable. And when it happens, you will understand exactly what this message has been preparing you for. Stay alert. Stay open. Because the next revelation will show you the sign you almost missed and why it was never misalignment that you are seeing it now. There is a moment from your recent past that you need to revisit now. Not a distant memory, not something from years ago, but something close, something subtle. A situation, a feeling, a conversation, or even a sudden shift that didn't fully make sense at the time. It passed quickly, almost too quickly for you to examine it deeply. And yet, it stayed with you in a quiet way. That was the sign. It did not arrive with noise or dramatic clarity. It didn't force your attention. Instead, it brushed against your awareness and waited to see if you would recognize it. And when you didn't fully respond, it didn't disappear. It simply moved into the background, waiting for this exact moment to return with meaning. Now you are ready to see it. Think carefully. There was a moment when something felt off, even if everything looked normal on the surface. A person whose words didn't quite match their energy. A situation that seemed fine logically, but emotionally felt heavy or confusing. Or perhaps it was an opportunity that appeared, but something inside you hesitated without a clear explanation. That hesitation was not weakness. That was guidance. Archangel Michael often works through that inner knowing, the quiet sense that something is not aligned, even when there is no obvious reason to question it. And in that moment, you were being guided to pause, to observe, to look deeper. But life moved quickly, and you kept going. You told yourself it wasn't important. You chose logic over intuition. You convinced yourself that you were overthinking. And so, the sign was almost missed. But not completely. Because if it had been fully missed, you would not be here right now. This is the power of divine timing. Even when you overlook something initially, it is brought back to you when you are finally ready to understand it. And that is exactly what is happening now. The meaning of that moment is rising to the surface, connecting with everything you are hearing in this message. It was never just a random feeling. It was a warning, a nudge, a moment of clarity that tried to reach you before things became more complicated. And now, that same truth is returning, but this time, it is stronger, clearer, harder to ignore. You may begin to see patterns connecting. A moment you almost dismissed may now link directly to something currently unfolding in your life. A behavior that is repeating. A situation that is becoming more obvious. A truth that is becoming undeniable. This is not SLUSHIIKAKI. This is confirmation. Archangel Michael is bringing that missed sign back into your awareness, not to remind you of what you overlooked, but to empower you with what you now understand. There is no judgment in this, only correction, only alignment. And here is the critical part. You cannot treat this like before. Now that you see it, you must respond differently. If something feels off, you not dismiss it. If something does not align, you not force it. If your spirit is signaling you to pause, then pause. This is how you begin to move in alignment instead of confusion. Because the cost of ignoring signs increases each time they are repeated. What was once a gentle nudge can become a stronger disruption if left unaddressed. Not as punishment, but as insistence. Because your path is too important to remain misaligned. You are being guided toward something specific. Something that requires clarity, awareness, and the courage to trust what you feel even when it challenges what you see. And that is why this sign matters so much. It was the beginning of a shift. A moment where your path started to redirect, even if you didn't fully realize it at the time. And now, that redirection is becoming more visible, more direct, more urgent. You are no longer in a place where things can remain hidden or uncertain. Everything is beginning to come into focus. And as this clarity increases, so does your responsibility to act on it. Because what comes next will not be a subtle sign. It will be an understanding so clear that it will answer the question you have been carrying deep within you, the question about why you have felt stuck, delayed, or unable to move forward the way you truly want to. That answer is closer than you think, and when it reveals itself, it will not only explain your current situation, it will show you exactly what needs to change. There is a question that has quietly followed you for some time now, even if you have not spoken it out loud. Why does it feel like no matter how much you try, something keeps holding you back? Why do you take steps forward, only to feel pulled into the same place again? This feeling of being stuck has not been misalignment, and it is not a reflection of your failure. It is the result of something deeper that you are only now beginning to understand. Being stuck is not always about a lack of effort. In your case, effort has never been the issue. You have tried. You have thought things through. You have made attempts to move forward. But what you were not shown before is that movement without alignment will always feel like resistance. That resistance has been building quietly. Part of it comes from within. Old patterns, learned behaviors, and beliefs that were formed during moments when you did not yet know your true worth. These patterns have been operating in the background, shaping your reactions, influencing your decisions, and keeping you within a certain range of comfort, even when that comfort no longer serves you. It is not weakness. It is conditioning. And breaking conditioning requires awareness before it requires action. This is why you are seeing things more clearly now. Because until you understand what has been influencing you internally, every attempt to change your external situation will feel incomplete. You may shift environments, change routines, or even distance yourself from certain people, but if the internal pattern remains, the feeling of being stuck will follow you. But that is only one side of it. There has also been external resistance, situations and energies that do not align with your growth but have remained in your life because they once felt familiar or necessary. These external factors have reinforced your internal patterns, creating a cycle that is difficult to break when you are unaware of it. This is the hidden loop. You feel stuck not because you are incapable of moving forward, but because something in your life had been keeping you in repetition. A cycle of thinking, reacting, and experiencing that continues until it is consciously interrupted. And now, that interruption is happening. Archangel Michael is not only revealing this pattern, he is helping you break it. His role in your life right now is not just protection, but activation. He is bringing clarity to the areas where you have been unclear. He is strengthening your awareness so that you can recognize when you are slipping back into old patterns. And most importantly, he is guiding you toward a different response. Because breaking the cycle does not require perfection. It requires one different choice. One moment where you pause instead of reacting automatically. One decision where you choose alignment over familiarity. One instance where you trust what you feel, even if it is uncomfortable at first. That is how change begins. The feeling of being stuck starts to dissolve the moment you stop repeating what created it. And this is where your power returns. You are not trapped. You are not blocked in the way you once believed. You are in a process of becoming aware. And awareness is the key that unlocks movement. As you continue forward, you may notice subtle shifts. Your reactions may slow down. Your thoughts may become clearer. Situations that once confused you may now feel easier to understand. This is not misalignment. This is alignment beginning to take place. But with alignment comes responsibility. Because once you see the pattern, you cannot continue it unconsciously. You are now in a position where your choices matter more than ever. Not in a way that creates pressure, but in a way that creates opportunity. Every decision becomes a chance to move forward instead of staying in place. And here's the truth that will bring everything together. You were never truly stuck. You were paused. Paused until you could see clearly. Paused until you were ready to understand what needed to change. Paused until your awareness reached a level where real movement could begin. That pause is ending now. And as it ends, something else becomes clear. The timing of your life has not been against you. It has been working in a way you did not fully understand. What you once saw as delay is about to reveal itself as preparation. And as this realization unfolds, you will begin to see your timing differently. Not as something you missed, but as something that is finally aligning exactly when it needs to. There is something you must release right now. Something that has been quietly weighing on your spirit more than you realize. It is the belief that you are behind, that you missed your moment, that somehow life moved forward while you were left trying to catch up. That belief has shaped how you see yourself, how you measure your progress, and how you respond to opportunities. But that belief is not the truth. You were never late in the way you think. Yes, you heard earlier that you are very late, but now you must understand what that truly means. You are not late in your purpose. You are not late in your destiny. You are late only in awareness. Late in recognizing what has been placed in front of you. Late in fully stepping into the clarity that has been building for a long time. And even that delay had a reason. Because if everything had been revealed to you earlier, you would not have been ready to receive it. You would have misunderstood it, resisted it, or walked away from it out of fear or uncertainty. Timing is not only about when something happens, it is about when you are prepared to understand it. This is divine timing. And divine timing does not operate according to human pressure. It does not follow comparison, deadlines, or expectations created by the world around you. It follows readiness, alignment, awareness. You have been in a process, whether you realized it or not. Every delay you experienced was shaping you. Every moment of confusion was refining your perception. Every setback was redirecting you away from something that would not have served your long-term path. It may not have felt that way at the time, but now you are beginning to see the pattern. Things did not fall apart randomly. They shifted because something better needed space to enter your life. And here is where everything begins to change for you. Because now, your awareness has caught up with your timing. This is the moment where what was once unclear starts to make sense. Where what once felt like delay begins to feel like preparation. Where what once caused frustration begins to reveal purpose. You are not behind anymore. You are arriving. Feel that shift. You are arriving at a level of clarity that allows you to move differently, to think differently, to choose differently. And that changes everything. Archangel Michael has been guiding you through this entire process, even when you felt lost. He was not rushing you, because rushing would have led to mistakes you were not meant to make. Instead, he was positioning you, aligning events, allowing certain experiences to unfold so that when this moment came, you would finally be able to see with clarity. And now, that clarity is here. But here is the part you must not overlook. Clarity does not remove urgency. It refines it. You are no longer being rushed without understanding. You are being called with awareness. This is different. Now, when you feel the urgency, it is not confusing. It is purposeful. It is guiding you toward action that is aligned, not reactive. Toward decisions that are intentional, not impulsive. This is why this moment is so important. Because you are standing at the intersection of clarity and opportunity. You can finally see what needs to change, and at the same time, you are being given the chance to act on it. This is not misalignment. This is alignment. And alignment does not stay open forever. There is a window connected to this moment. A period where everything you have learned, everything you have realized, and everything you are beginning to understand can be put into motion. But that window is not permanent. You cannot go back to unawareness. You cannot return to the same patterns without feeling the weight of knowing that you are meant for more. That is why this moment feels different. That is why it feels urgent in a way that is deeper than before. Because now, you know. And knowing creates responsibility. Not pressure, but direction. You are being directed toward something that is ready for you. Something that has been waiting for you to reach this level of awareness. But just as you have been preparing for it, it has its own timing as well. And that timing is now approaching its peak. Which means something else is also true. A door is about to either open fully or begin to close. And what you do in this next phase will determine which one it becomes. There is a shift happening right now that you can no longer afford to treat casually. You have reached a point where awareness has been given, clarity has been revealed, and now a decision stands directly in front of you. This is not a distant choice. This is not something waiting for a perfect moment in the future. This is present, active, and already unfolding. There is a door in your life that has been slowly opening. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but gradually, through the realizations you have been receiving, through the signs you almost missed, through the understanding that has been building within you. This door represents alignment. It represents a path that is closer to your truth, your purpose, and the life you are meant to step into. But here is what you must understand. Doors do not stay open forever. For a long time, this opportunity has been patient with you. It has waited while you questioned, while you hesitated, while you tried to make sense of things in your own way. It has not forced you. It has allowed you space. But now, that space is narrowing. Not because you are being punished, but because time is reaching its limit. There comes a moment when an opportunity either becomes action or becomes regret. And you are standing in that moment now. You can feel it, even if you cannot fully explain it. There is a pressure, not from the outside, but from within. A sense that something must change. And knowing that continuing the same way is no longer an option. This is not anxiety. This is alignment, calling you forward. Archangel Michael is present in this moment, as a guide, but also as a witness to your choice. He is not pushing you through the door. He is illuminating it. He is clearing the path. He is removing what once blocked your vision so that you can see clearly what stands before you. But stepping through is your responsibility. And this is where many hesitate. Because stepping through that door means leaving something behind. It means releasing what is familiar, even if that familiarity hath been limiting you. It means trusting what you feel over what you have been used to. And that requires courage. But understand this clearly. What is on the other side of this door is not unknown in the way you fear. It is unknown only because you have not experienced it yet. But your spirit recognizes it. That is why you feel drawn to it. That is why you feel this pull, even if part of you still hesitates. This is not a misalignment moment. This is a defining moment. If you step forward, you move into alignment. You begin to experience clarity, movement, and a sense of purpose that has been waiting for you. Things will not suddenly become effortless, but they will begin to make sense. You will no longer feel stuck in the same patterns. You will feel direction. But if you step back, if you choose hesitation again, the door will not remain as open as it is now. The clarity you feel will begin to fade. The patterns you were beginning to break may start to reappear. Not because you failed, but because you delayed action when the moment called for it. This is the truth that must be faced. Opportunities respond to readiness, but they also respond to action. And you are ready. The only question that remains is whether you will act on that readiness. Feel the weight of this moment, but do not let it overwhelm you. Let it focus you. Let it remind you that your life is not something that happens to you. It is something you participate in. Archangel Michael stands with you, not to decide for you, but to strengthen you. To remind you that you are capable of stepping forward. That you are supported in ways you cannot always see. That you are not alone in this decision. The door is still open. But type I step into alignment in the comments if you feel the call to move forward. Blessing code 8821 is now activated, releasing courage, clarity, and divine strength over your path. And as you stand at this doorway, understand something deeper. This message did not just reach you for your own life. It carries a purpose that extends beyond you. There are others who are still waiting at the edge of confusion, still searching for the clarity you are receiving right now. When you choose to support this mission, you are not just giving. You are opening doors for others. You are helping this light travel further, reaching hearts that are still in darkness, guiding them toward the same awakening that is happening within you. The word declares, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days." This is a living promise, speaking into your moment. What you release in faith returns multiplied in ways you cannot yet see. If you feel this stirring within you, do not ignore it. This is your moment to act not only in your life, but in the lives of others. You can support through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description and QR code. This is not just a donation. It is a prophetic step, a seed planted into something eternal. Say it within yourself. I move when I am called. And as you do, may your path open. May your courage rise. May every step you take from this moment forward be guided and protected. Because what comes next will ask even more of you, not in fear, but in transformation. Something within you is already shifting, whether you fully realize it or not. The awareness you have gained, the clarity that has been unfolding, and the urgency you now feel are not just guiding you toward a decision, they are guiding you toward transformation. Because stepping through that door is not only about changing your situation, it is about becoming someone new. Not completely different, not someone unfamiliar, but a truer version of who you have always been beneath the layers of doubt, delay, and hesitation. This is the part many people misunderstand. They think change is about doing more, trying harder, or forcing results. But real change begins with identity. It begins with who you believe you are and how you choose to show up in each moment. And right now, you are being called to step into a higher version of yourself. One that no longer operates from confusion, fear, or old patterns. The person you must become is already within you. But that version of you requires activation. It requires you to think differently, to respond differently, to hold yourself with a level of awareness and intention that you may not have consistently practiced before. This is not about perfection. It is about alignment. Archangel Michael is guiding you through this transformation not by forcing change upon you, but by revealing who you are capable of becoming. He is strengthening your inner clarity so that you can recognize when you are stepping into your higher self and when you are slipping back into old habits. This awareness is your greatest tool, because becoming this new version of yourself does not happen all at once. It happens in moments, in choices, in the way you respond when something challenges you, in the way you carry yourself when uncertainty tries to return, in the way you trust what you feel, even when it requires you to step outside of what is comfortable. This is where your transformation becomes real. You are no longer the person who ignores signs. You are no longer the person who delays action out of fear. You are no longer the person who settles for what feels misaligned simply because it is familiar. That version of you has reached its limit. And now, a new version is rising. This version of you is aware, present, decisive, not right but intentional, not fearful but discerning. You begin to notice things more clearly. You begin to trust your inner guidance more deeply. You begin to move with purpose instead of hesitation. This is not slujikaki. This is growth. But growth will always ask something from you. It will ask you to let go of parts of your identity that no longer serve you. It will ask you to release attachments to how things used to be. It will ask you to trust that who you are becoming is more aligned than who you have been, and that can feel uncomfortable at times. Because even when something is no longer right for you, it can still feel familiar, and familiarity as a way of pulling you back if you are not fully conscious of your direction. This is why your awareness must remain strong. You are not just making one decision, you are entering a new way of being. Every step forward reinforces this identity. Every aligned choice strengthens it. And over time, what once felt difficult begins to feel natural. You become the person who acts with clarity, the person who recognizes misalignment quickly, the person who does not need repeated signs to understand what must be done. This is the transformation you are stepping into. And as you do, something else begins to happen. Your environment starts to respond. People either align with your growth or naturally fall away. Opportunities begin to appear that match your new level of awareness. This is not coincidence. This is alignment reflecting back to you. But remember, this only continues if you remain consistent in who you are becoming. Because the moment you return to old patterns, the clarity begins to weaken. Not because you are being punished, but because alignment requires consistency. Archangel Michael continues to stand with you, reinforcing your strength, reminding you of your direction, guiding you when uncertainty tries to return. But he will not choose for you. You are now the one stepping forward, and the person you choose to be in this moment will determine what unfolds next. Because a decision is approaching, one that will not only test your awareness, but confirm your transformation. And how you respond will change everything. There comes a moment in every transformation where everything you have learned, felt, and realized is brought into one defining point. A moment where thinking is no longer enough, where awareness alone is no longer enough. A moment where a decision must be made. You are standing in that moment now. This is not just another choice among many. This is the decision that will determine whether everything you have come to understand begins to take form in your life or remains something you recognized but did not act upon. Feel the weight of that truth, because this is where many people pause. Not because they don't know what to do, but because they do. And knowing removes the comfort of uncertainty. It removes the ability to say, I didn't understand. Now, you do understand. And that understanding is asking something from you. Is asking for action. There is a specific area in your life where this decision applies. You already know where it is. It may involve a person, a situation, a habit, or even a direction you have been hesitating to take. You have felt the pull. You have sensed the misalignment. You have recognized, at least partially, what needs to change. And now, The moment to decide has arrived. You can continue to stand where you are, holding on to what feels familiar, telling yourself that you will act later, that you will wait for more clarity, more certainty, more comfort. But that path leads back into delay, back into the same cycle you have just begun to break. Or you can step forward, not with complete certainty, not with every answer in place, but with enough clarity to know that staying the same is no longer an option. That is what this decision truly is. It is not about having everything figured out. It is about choosing alignment over hesitation. Archangel Michael is present with you in this moment, not to remove the difficulty of the choice, but to strengthen your ability to make it. He is reinforcing your clarity, reminding you of everything that has been revealed to you, guiding you away from fear and toward truth. But he will not override your will, because this decision is yours, and it matters more than you realize. The cost of inaction is not always immediate. It does not always appear as something dramatic or obvious. Sometimes the cost is subtle. It shows up as continued confusion, as missed opportunities, as a quiet sense of knowing that you could have moved forward, but chose not to. That is the cost you are being asked to avoid, not by force but by awareness. Because now, you are no longer in a place where you can say you didn't see it coming. You are fully aware of what stands before you, and that awareness gives you the power to choose differently. This is where your transformation becomes real. Not in what you think, not in what you feel, but in what you do. One decision, one step, one moment of choosing alignment over familiarity. That is all it takes to shift everything. And once you make that decision, something begins to unlock. The resistance that once felt overwhelming starts to weaken. The clarity that once felt distant begins to strengthen. Movement replaces stagnation. Direction replaces confusion. This is not SLUJIHKEKI. This is the result of choosing in alignment with your truth. But understand this clearly. There is no neutral ground here. You are either moving forward or remaining where you are. And remaining where you are, now that you have this level of awareness, will not feel the same as it did before. It will feel heavier, more restrictive, because your spirit has already outgrown that space. That is why this decision cannot be postponed indefinitely. You are being called to act while the clarity is strong, while the door is still open, while the support around you is active and guiding you forward. Trust what you feel in this moment. Not the fear, not the doubt, but the deeper knowing beneath it all. The part of you that has been quietly guiding you toward this exact point. That is your truth. And when you act on that truth, everything begins to change. Because what comes next is not a moment of hesitation. It is the beginning of your breakthrough. And that breakthrough is closer than you think. Take a moment and feel what is different now. Not outside of you, but within you. There is a shift that has already begun. Something subtle yet powerful. Something that cannot be reversed because it is rooted in awareness. The breakthrough you have been waiting for is not approaching from a distance. It is already unfolding. It did not arrive the way you expected. You may have thought breakthrough would feel like a sudden, overwhelming change. Something dramatic that would instantly remove all confusion and difficulty. But what is happening now is deeper than that. It is quieter, more precise, and far more lasting. It is the moment where everything begins to align internally before it fully manifests externally. This is how real breakthrough begins. You have already crossed the first threshold. The moment you recognize the patterns, the moment you acknowledge the truth, the moment you felt the urgency and did not turn away, that was the beginning. And now, because you stayed, because you listened, because you allowed yourself to see clearly, something has shifted in your favor. The resistance you once felt so strongly is losing its hold. You may still sense it at times, but it no longer has the same power. It no longer controls your direction. That is because awareness has replaced confusion, and clarity has begun to guide your steps. This is not misalignment. This is alignment taking effect. Archangel Michael has been working through every stage of this process, and now his role becomes even more active in your life. Not just as a protector, but as a confirmer of your path. You may begin to notice signs becoming clearer, decisions feeling more natural, and a sense of inner strength rising where hesitation once lived. This is how you know the breakthrough is real. Things that once felt complicated begin to simplify. Choices that once felt overwhelming begin to feel obvious. The noise that once surrounded you begins to quiet, allowing you to hear your own inner guidance more clearly than ever before. And with that clarity comes movement. You will begin to take steps that feel different, not forced, not rushed, but aligned. Actions that come from knowing rather than guessing. Decisions that come from understanding rather than confusion. This is the shift from being stuck to being guided. And as you move, your external world will begin to respond. Situations that were once stagnant will start to change. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will begin to appear. Connections that align with your growth will become more visible, while those that do not will naturally fade. This is not coincidence. This is the reflection of your internal breakthrough. But there is something important you must hold on to during this phase. Do not expect everything to become perfect instantly. Breakthrough does not remove all challenges. It changes how you experience them. It gives you the clarity to move through them instead of being held back by them. It gives you the strength to remain steady when things shift around you. It gives you the awareness to recognize what is aligned and what is not without losing yourself in the process. This is your new foundation. And as long as you stay connected to this awareness, the progress you are beginning to experience will continue to build. Archangel Michael is reinforcing this foundation, ensuring that what is being built within you is strong, stable, and aligned with your true path. He is not only guiding your steps, but also protecting the direction you are moving toward. This is why things may begin to feel lighter. Not because everything has changed yet, but because you have changed. And that change is what unlocks everything else. You are no longer the person waiting for something to happen. You are the person who recognizes when it is time to move. You are no longer the person lost in uncertainty. You are the person who sees clearly enough to take action. This is your breakthrough. And it is only the beginning. Because what comes next is not another test, not another delay, but something much calmer. Something that brings a sense of peace after everything you have just moved through. A place where urgency transforms into understanding. A place where clarity settles into confidence. A place where you can finally breathe, knowing that you did not miss your moment. You stepped into it. Beloved soul, feel the stillness that is beginning to settle within you now. After everything you have just moved through, the urgency, the realization, the weight of decision, there is a calm that is gently rising. This calm is not misalignment. It is the confirmation that you have aligned yourself with truth. You are no longer standing at the edge of confusion. You are no longer questioning what you felt but could not explain. You are no longer unaware of what needs to change. You have seen clearly. You have felt deeply. And most importantly, you have stayed present long enough for understanding to take root within you. That alone has shifted your path in a way you may not fully comprehend yet. Take a breath and recognize this. You did not miss your moment. You were brought into it. Everything that felt delayed, Everything that seemed uncertain, everything that made you question your timing, it has all led you here. Not to a place of pressure, but to a place of clarity. Not to a place of fear, but to a place of quiet strength. This is the peace that follows awareness. Archangel Michael is still with you, but now his presence feels different. Not as urgent, not as pressing, but as steady, reassuring, and protective. He is not calling you to wake up anymore because you are awake. Now, he stands beside you as you walk forward, guiding gently, protecting silently, and strengthening you with every step you take. You may notice that things around you begin to feel lighter. Situations that once carried confusion may now feel easier to navigate. Thoughts that once felt overwhelming may now feel clearer and more grounded. Even your emotions may begin to settle into a place of balance that you have not felt in a long time. This is alignment, and alignment brings peace. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer resisting what you know is true. You are moving with it. You are allowing it. You are becoming it. And from this place, your life begins to unfold differently. You will still face moments of decision, moments of uncertainty, moments where you are asked to choose alignment again. But now you are equipped. Now you are aware. Now you are no longer walking blindly. You are walking with understanding. That changes everything. There is no need to rush anymore. The urgency is purpose. It brought you to this point. It awakened you. It showed you what could no longer be ignored. But now, you move forward with intention instead of pressure. Step by step. Choice by choice. With clarity leading you instead of confusion. And as you continue, trust this deeply. What is meant for you will meet you in alignment. What is not meant for you will fall away without force. You do not need to chase what is already being guided toward you. This is the flow you are entering. A life where you are no longer reacting but responding. A life where you are no longer waiting but participating. A life where you are no longer lost but aware of your direction. Let that settle into your spirit. You are safe. You are guided. You are exactly where you need to be right now. Type "I trust my path" in the comments if you feel this peace within you. Blessing code 1107 is now activated, releasing calm, protection, and divine alignment over your life. And as this message comes to its completion, understand this. What reached you today was not SLUCHAIDIKAKI. It was a light sent at the exact moment your spirit was ready to receive it. There are still many souls who have not yet heard this call, who are still standing in confusion, still waiting for clarity to find them. When you act now, you become part of that light. God is speaking through this very moment, saying, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just words. It is a living promise calling you into action. If you feel it in your heart, say it now. I am ready to sow into this purpose. Your support through Super Thanks or PayPal, available in the description and QR code, is not just a contribution. It is a seed planted into lives that are waiting to be reached. Every act of giving becomes a river, carrying this message further than you can see. Do not hesitate. Move as you are being called. And as you give, may your life overflow with clarity, peace, and divine favor.